Oh, buckle up. We got a good one tonight.
The Masons, they call that a secret society. The Illuminati, they call that a secret society. Yale University has Skull and Bones, which is a very well-known secret society. How can you be well-known and be a secret society? If it's a secret, you should know about it. And I remember when George Bush wrote in his memoirs, or one of his books, he said, when I went to Yale University, I was inducted into a secret society called Skull and Bones. A society so secret, that's all I can say about it.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
And no one ever talks about Skull and Bones, what goes on in that secret society. There's Bohemian Grove, which is a secret society, but it's a real place. Alex Jones actually was there with a camera, and he filmed some of the things that went on. So we know about it. So the first group of secret societies are these well-known societies that nobody talks about what goes on behind closed doors. That's really the secret. But there are other secret societies that nobody knows about because they're really secret. The Brotherhood is one of those. The people in the Brotherhood are the real power brokers behind the scenes. It's not the politicians who run countries. It's not the presidents of corporations that run corporations and make the decisions. It's a shadow organization. Some people call it a shadow government that actually controls and runs the world. And the Brotherhood is at the top of the food chain. But the thing that's unique about the Brotherhood is it teaches its members who have unique abilities how to accelerate those abilities and control those abilities. And then those people, like myself, are then used for humanitarian purposes, according to the Brotherhood, nefarious purposes for those who maybe disagree with some of the principles of those organizations.
Yeah, I don't really disagree. I don't really disagree with a shadow anything that was originally the light bearer. Next clip.
1920s, a terrifying conspiracy theory spread across America. A doctor claimed the government was poisoning alcohol to kill citizens. But if that was true, the question is why? In 1920, the United States government banned the sale and production of alcohol. The law became known as Prohibition. Lawmakers believed alcohol was destroying American society. They thought banning it would reduce crime, improve families, and clean up the country. Police raided warehouses and smashed barrels of alcohol. But almost immediately, the law failed. People didn't stop drinking. They just started drinking in secret.
Almost overnight, a whole underground economy sprang up dedicated to smuggling and selling alcohol. If anything, alcohol consumption became more widespread as people sought to outwit the law.
Bootleggers needed huge amounts of alcohol to keep up with demand, so they came up with a dangerous idea. They would turn industrial alcohol into drinking alcohol. Industrial alcohol was used in paint, cleaning products, and medical supplies. It was never meant to be consumed because it contained harmful chemicals, but that didn't stop them. Some people filtered industrial alcohol, bottled it, and secretly sold it in bars. As demand grew, thieves started breaking into factories. They stole entire barrels of industrial alcohol and pushed it into the black market. The government knew this was happening, but they couldn't stop the theft. In the 1920s, a terrifying conspiracy theory spread across America. A doctor claimed the government was poisoning.
I think it's absolutely positively what was done. Gotta watch him. Next clip.
We know the truth now here. On the left is Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. On the right is Agent P0isoned. Looks like the same person, right? Timothy McVeigh was supposedly executed in 2001. P0isoned was promoted in the FBI in 2002. Strange, right? We know the truth now.
Look at that ear. Look at that nose. Matches perfectly. Perfectly. Matches perfectly.
everything is true that you've heard about me.
And you get a search warrant, you're looking at somebody's...
I don't know what to think about those guys. All I know is they're paid FBI.
There's a doomsday video that will be broadcasted by CNN at the end of the world. The video is a performance of the Christian hymn Near My God to Thee, performed by multiple members of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine bands in front of CNN's original headquarters at the Turner Broadcasting Campus in Atlanta, Georgia. They know it's coming, they just don't know when. George Washington technically wasn't the first president, or rather the first leader of the newly formed United States. Under the newly ratified Constitution that took effect in 1789 after the Articles of Confederation, yes, George Washington was the official first president. But before all this even happened, there were still people in charge under the Articles of Confederation, the first government of the United States. And the first person that was elected to lead the Articles of Confederation, specifically the United States in Congress assembled, was John Hanson. Despite only serving 1 year under the weak Articles of Confederation, he was surprisingly able to accomplish a lot. Hanson was able to remove all foreign troops from American lands, as well as their flags. He introduced the first Treasury Department, the first Secretary of War, and the first Foreign Affairs Department. He also led the fight to guarantee the statehood of the Western territories beyond the Appalachian Mountains that had been controlled by some of the original 13 colonies. He's sometimes referred to as the Forgotten President, and the reason why he gets overshadowed by George Washington was because, again, the Articles of Confederation was weak. It had no executive branch, the presidents had very limited powers, and it simply failed to glue the 13 colonies together and enforce any actual rules. Had the Articles of Confederation gone right, we might be seeing a very different president today. Chinese workers made up 90% of the workforce that built the Transcontinental Railroad. They were paid less, given the deadliest jobs, and then cropped out of the Golden Spike photograph. The contributions of black soldiers in the Revolutionary War are almost invisible in most American education. Black soldiers did serve in the Continental Army despite the fact that George Washington forbade it. He later changed his mind after the British recruited black soldiers in America. Still, many black Americans chose the British, as the British offered black slaves freedom in exchange for their service, while only Rhode Island appears to have done so consistently in the U.S. The formation of Texas was actually rooted in maintaining slavery. The Texas Revolution is often sanitized in history books, particularly in Texas. One of the main causes of the revolution was not a patriotic desire for freedom from Mexico, but instead to preserve slavery. Mexico had outlawed the practice, which upset Texans, whose main industry was cotton. Many of the myths of the Battle of the Alamo in particular are untrue. There was no line drawn in the sand, Davy Crockett did not go down fighting, and they certainly did not fight until the last man. Up to half of the soldiers fled as they lost. The supposedly brave fighters died, essentially defending slavery. The 13th Amendment didn't actually end slavery. It simply added a loophole, and southern states immediately used it to re-enslave hundreds of thousands of black Americans. According to the actual text, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, shall exist within the United States. Southern states immediately weaponized that exception clause. They passed black codes, criminalizing black everyday life. Vagrancy, being unemployed, loitering, breaking curfew, even changing employers without permission, then sold convicted people to private corporations, coal mines, railroads, plantations. This was the convict leasing system. From 1953 to 1973, the CIA operated a secret program known as MK-Ultra, intended to develop techniques for mind control, interrogation, and behavioral manipulation. A 1997 U.S. Senate investigation found that the program involved more than 80 universities, hospitals, prisons, and research institutions. Researchers funded by the CIA experimented on thousands of people, often without their knowledge or consent, using LSD, electroshock therapy, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and other psychological methods. Test subjects included prisoners, psychiatric patients, drug addicts, sex workers, and ordinary civilians. Throughout the 20th century, U.S. funded sterilization programs in 32 states targeting up to 80,000 individuals, particularly black people, disabled people, and poor people. State-sanctioned programs aimed to eliminate undesirable traits, focusing on those labeled feeble-minded, disabled, poor, unmarried mothers, and minority groups, including black, indigenous, and immigrant communities. The beginning of the city of San Francisco was pretty brutal. During the gold rush, the entire city was basically lawless, and the only women in town were prostitutes. There were pirates, murderers, lynchings, as well as other nefarious acts. At one point, the U.S. Army nearly invaded the city. The entire city was burned down twice over by pirates, not to mention that the city was nearly destroyed by the 1906 earthquake and subsequent fires that caused thousands of deaths, and it was plagued by intense racial tensions, particularly the Chinese exclusion era, along with famous crimes like the Zodiac Killer. The origins of America's public education system are rooted in a 19th century desire for social control, conformity, and industrial efficiency, rather than pure intellectual empowerment, heavily influenced by the Prussian model aimed at creating obedient workers and soldiers. Key drivers included controlling immigrant populations, enforcing strict obedience to authority, and structuring schools to mimic factory routines. Reformers like Horace Mann imported the Prussian schooling model, which was designed to produce obedient, loyal subjects, not independent thinkers. This system focused on indoctrination and training children to follow routines routines and rules. The origins of the American entertainment system are deeply intertwined with racial exploitation, segregation, and the commodification of disturbing imagery, with blackface minstrelsy serving as the nation's first mass-produced popular entertainment. This early industry was not merely fringe amusement, but a pervasive, profitable, and politically charged force that reinforced an unequal society. Beginning in the 1830s, minstrel shows became the first distinct form of American popular culture, featuring white performers using burnt cork to create racist caricatures of black Americans. In fact, the term Jim Crow originates from popular minstrel show character created by Thomas Dartmouth Rice, cementing a legacy of racist entertainment that thrived even in liberal progressive eras. The United States is a Masonic construct controlled by ancient demonic entities. The United States was founded by demon-possessed Freemasons according to very specific Masonic protocols and occultic specifications. All the founding fathers were Freemasons. All high-level Freemasons, and most Masons period, engage in heinous rituals that involve vile acts such as blood libel, drinking human blood out of a skull, satanic ritual abuse of children, animal/human sacrifice, bestiality, mass orgies, and other depraved behaviors. They function as foot soldiers for ancient demonic entities that go back to Babylon, and well before that. Everything you have been told about history is a lie. The real goal of your leaders is the endless consumption of human life force energy to feed their true rulers, the Nephilim pagan gods. All world governments serve these same demonic masters.
Didn't he chop down a cherry tree or something?
There's
like
a dooms.
George Washington. I'm not sure. Next clip.
Okay, here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that you've
sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and that blows everything down. Yeah. Okay, so here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
How is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
By the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Okay,
it just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
it wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car come from?
Yeah. No car.
The second is, does it really look like
car?
Does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
That does look fake.
There's also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like making of Star Wars, any of the any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, this is good.
Oh man, you know it's fake.
You know what the darkest conspiracy theory about aliens is? I don't know if I'm ready for it. That Earth is essentially a farm, and human beings are the vessels that contain souls, and they want us because this is how they create souls. And so they're farming us. They've created us. So we started off as primates, and through some sort of genetic intervention, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying that this is like top of the food chain, put your tinfoil hat on super tight, that they farm us. And that the whole reason why human beings are involved in this conflict, constant conflict, it's all of it is to increase our competition with each other, increase our ability to control resources, which will increase our technology, which will ultimately lead to us creating this being that we're going to create, this artificially intelligent super god.
All the super gods coming, get ready. Worship.
You know what the
six.
dark...
The tell lie vision? Well, I don't, but I just happened to the other day, and this caught my eye.
You are a human on Earth, and throughout all of humanity's existence on Earth, there have been ideas, strides, and accomplishments.
You see, not only did it catch my eye because they were propagating the globe and the space shuttle to moon, but it's the mainstream, and if the mainstream's pushing it, there's ulterior motives, so I had to investigate more. And it was right away that I investigated and found exactly what I knew I would. Because on the very first page of the very first ad of their own website, they have this. And not only do they have it inverted, so you can see that it's clearly 666, But the very next ad had it as well, with the circle here and 666. You see, this is what they do. They try to get everybody. And for the people who are trying to make smarter decisions, they offer you a smarter, healthier option. But then they put this in it, natural flavors, and they don't have to tell you what those are. But I know what they are. Because not too long ago, LaCroix, the healthier brand, got sued for having roach poison in their natural flavors. So you can go ahead and continue to have their products.
I don't want no satanic
to have their products.
And all of the leaders who were communicating to us just felt the need to keep saying 33. Take a look.
What's that little boy's name? Say it in the comments. That's that little boy, that lady boy, that boy, he's a she.
And all of the leaders who were communicating to us just felt the need to keep saying 33. Take a listen.
And that was about, I think I had it. It was like 33 minutes before he was killed.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU in the afternoon. About a 33-hour manhunt ensued.
Bad stuff happens, and for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us.
In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
Yeah, we get it. 33. Look, it is, in my educated opinion, the most obvious signaling ever, alerting those that are in the cult that this was a hit that was done by the cult and for the cult. Now, never mind that out of all of the Freemason lodges in the world, every Freemason lodge has a number associated with it, and all of the leaders who were communicating to us just felt the need to keep saying 33. Take a listen.
No need. We know you're the devil.
You are a master in training. You have a destiny that supersedes reincarnation. We can talk on and on about Dr. Ian Stevenson's research with over 3,000 children from all over the world, in which he went and followed up on their stories of having remembered being someone before. Some children insisted on being called a name that was not their name now. One girl from Lebanon remembered the names and interrelationships of 25 different people that she knew in her alleged past life. He wrote it all down. He found that family. They'd never spoken before. These two families had never come in contact. Every single thing the little girl remembered checked out. Do you want to keep reincarnating again and again? I believe that if you're watching these videos, you're focused on spiritual growth, transformation, personal healing, and self-improvement. If that's true, and you know about reincarnation, you know in fact that Christianity was teaching reincarnation, there was an oral tradition of secret knowledge from Jesus himself that was from Apostle Peter. Apostle Peter handed it to Clement of Augustine. Clement of Augustine handed it to a man named Origen. Origen wrote that one of Jesus' strongest teachings amongst his own disciples was reincarnation. But in 535 AD, the Catholic Church officially declared reincarnation anathema, which means you will be excommunicated. Now, excommunication back in those days means you're thrown out and you're going to die. You either believe in what they teach you or death will result. When we start to see how reincarnation was carefully manicured out of the Bible, we find out that the religions of the world are not so different. Nobody that did these teachings originally expected that they were going to bifurcate off into their own sect, that people would argue, well, my God is better than your God. Originally, it was known to everyone, all the great enlightened masters, all the wisdom teachers, that we reincarnate, and now we have the scientific proof. There's even some quotes in the Bible that made it. There is a quote, I believe it's in the book of Mark, where the disciples asked Jesus, who has sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Now Jesus should have said, wait a minute, what are you talking about? How could this man have sinned before he was born? And how could that sin be responsible for him being blind? Jesus said, no, It was only that the works of God would be made manifest in him, not that he was sinning before. But Jesus didn't say, whoa, hold on. How could he have been sinning before he was born? So, look, there's an oral tradition. We know this. We know the Catholic Church took it out because they wanted an airtight cosmology that says you have one life to live. You're either going to hell or you're going to heaven. The only way you can go to heaven is pay tax, which back then was paying the church, which is called an indulgence or a tithe. So government has manicured what I call the subconscious Judeo-Christian bias from the Roman Empire that you probably might still be affected by.
Man, I know that's the truth. You gotta think about it. They got you believing there's a little man lives in the sky, watches everything you do all the time, and he has a list of 10 things that he does not want you to do. And if you do these things, he'll send you to a place of burning hellfire and pterodactyls tearing out your eye. And you'll just suffer and be tormented forever and ever and ever. But he loves you. He loves you and he needs money. All-knowing, all-powerful, can't balance a checkbook or quit getting overdrafts.